knowing that sometimes people who come before you are coming before you at the worst point in their life. So treating them with the respect, giving them the opportunity to speak and to be heard, even when you are going to say to them, sorry, but no, you are wrong, you're going to be held accountable, or sorry, but no, you didn't do the right thing you needed to do, so you cannot get this result. You have to treat people humanely, no matter what. And I believe that equity, treating people impartially and fairly, is the key. It is the key. Everyone deserves to be treated and with respect.
Thank you. Mr. Stevens?
I've worked in Afghanistan and Kosovo. Those are post-conflict countries, and regrettably, Afghanistan is now back under the control of the Taliban. It's really sad because I worked there and I saw how women were treated. I don't understand why people would put in their literature, on their websites and stuff like that, they'll treat people with equity and equality if they're exactly the same thing. So I have to assume that when they say equity, they must mean something different. So I believe in equality. As I said, I was a federal civil rights investigator. My job was to make sure that everybody's treated equally. I treat all the cases that I prosecute, all the cases that I defended, I treated those people with respect and I treated them equally. And as a judge, I treat people with respect. I never call them by their first name. I don't think that's right. I've seen a lot of judges do that. I think you should call this, because that's how you treat people with respect. That's how you treat them something different.
Very good, thank you. Our next audience question is, what do you think is the most important challenge facing our courts, and how would you handle it?
One of the most important challenges facing our courts today is funding. The Mason County Courthouse is a historic building, but historic buildings do need work at times. And we need funding to take care of some of the things that's going on with the Mason County Courthouse. But not only that, we need funding to have the proper staff so that we can meet the needs of our community. There are people who come into our courtroom that cannot get services because we do not have the required staff. We do not have advocates. We do not have sufficient clerks or sufficient court admin to address the needs of our community. So funding is a big issue for our courts today, for the Mason County courts today, and I think that's one of the most important ones. Thank you.
I was a deputy prosecutor in Spokane County for 10 years, and they had part of the cases dragging on and on. So they put a judge in charge, and she was a taskmaster. I mean, she was great. And so she got the system down. It was usually 100 cases were being called ready for trial. She got it down to the cases that would actually go to trial. So there'd be like 5 or 6 cases. I remember she'd put this elaborate process into place. And so Judge Kathleen O'Connor said, because she was going to rotate off that docket, and she said, what do you think? Do you think the cases will still be timely after I'm not doing it anymore? And I said, no. I said, no. I said, it doesn't. Judges have to have a strong will to hold the attorneys to the schedule. And you know what? If you go to Spokane right now, there's going to be 100 cases.
Very good, thank you. 6 questions that we received from the audience that were...
So we talked a little bit about when somebody's arrested and bail is set. So they decided probable cause, and then their task is, how do I make the community as safe? So he let him out. He let him out. There was no change of circumstances whatsoever. And within 24 hours, now the information we had when he appeared before my opponent was that she had shot her times. Law enforcement specifically put down that she was dangerous. $500,000, because I believe that when you shoot someone, you've shown clearly that you're a danger and is not going to protect that victim. Then went and took her own life. $5,000 would not have made a decision. This community is going to be safe. It's not a question of whether or not. Now, I'm the only candidate that is supported by law enforcement in Mason. Dave Stevens' experience, legal acumen, and passion for just impact on our community. They see the results of what's going on.
Answering or responding to Mr. Stevens. And I'm not allowed to talk about pending cases. I'm not allowed to talk about certain things. I'm going to say this. Mr. Stevens and I must different probable cause statements, because the probable cause statement in the Chantal Peterson matter did not state that her spouse or partner 6 or 7 times. So let's correct the record. With me saying that, I will say this, that out of hundreds of cases that I have heard, Mr. Stevens and his supporters have tried to point out and try to spread and my decisions in a pre-trial hearing. Parties, the prosecutor and the public, to what needs to be said. That he asked for $500,000 bail in the Chantal Peterson matter. I receive $1 bail in such a matter. Mr. Peterson has their presentation defend. I need to bear in mind again